I would now like to discuss stress and stress management. Stress occurs in the lives of all people and can have major social and health consequences if not dealt with adequately. It may also cause a loss of sleep for the individual who is stressed, or can have financial and social consequences for the workplace. Techniques can be learned that will eliminate or reduce stress so that it does not have these effects. Here I will show you how to deal with stressors in a constructive, holistic way and avoid the negative consequences. Objectives for this presentation are: at the completion of the presentation, the listener will be able to 1. Define stress, stressors, stress management, holistic alternative, and complementary health. 2. Discuss the causes of and responses and reactions to stress. 3rd, diagnose stress when present. 4. Demonstrate a variety of holistic physical, mental, spiritual interventions to reduce or eliminate stress in your life and relationships. I will begin by defining stress, which is the results produced when individuals are acted upon by stressors. Here, stressors are internal or external environmental stimuli that trigger physiological or psychological reactions. Stress management is a holistic natural intervention designed to reduce or eliminate the impact of stressors in one's environment. Holistic health pertains to the health of the whole individual, body, mind, spirit, relationship, and environment, all of which are interrelated. Complementary health is a group of diagnostic and or therapeutic practices or disciplines that are used in conjunction with conventional medicine to meet the total needs of individuals. Alternative health are healing practices that differ from conventional medicine and provide options to healing such as nutrition, herbs, meditation, and prayer. To elaborate on these definitions, holistic care pertains to care of all aspects of the health of individuals, the physical, mental, spiritual, and can be met by complementary medicine that combines conventional and a variety of alternative treatments, or by alternative treatments that may be provided by one practitioner who has a holistic approach, or by a group who each provide part of the holistic focus, and tends to be more often natural and less invasive than conventional treatment. There are two major categories of stressors that include the biophysical chemical stressors, which include coffee, cigarettes, alcohol, overeating, inactivity, and others, and psychosocial cultural stressors that include three subcategories. The subcategories of psychosocial cultural stressors are society, the situation, and personal. Societal stressors include stressors such as liberal attitudes about gay rights, abortion, male and female roles, and women's rights. Situational stressors may occur at work or in the home. Work stressors include flexibility or rigid structures, unclear lines of authority, unclear communication channels, work overload, or role conflict. Home stressors may include life changes such as a job loss, divorce, or death of a family member. Personal stressors may include low self-esteem, a need to control, a need to be perfect, or to dominate others. How do we respond to stressors? First, our response to stressors vary from person to person and from time to time. We are always trying to adapt to stressors in our environment and may be successful or unsuccessful. It is believed that a series of unsuccessful adaptations to stressors may lead to mental illnesses. Second, the differences in our ability to adapt to stressors are due to, first, the stressor itself. How sudden did it occur? How long did it last? Did it occur alone or with other stressors, such as death, a flat tire, a lost job, a divorce, or a new job? A sudden stressor of long duration that acts with other stressors tend to be more difficult to adapt to. The limitations or potential of the individual affects adaptation to stressors and may be due to one's genetic background, personality type, state of physical and mental health, history of adapting to stressors, and the availability of social support. Research shows that if one is in good health, physically and mentally, and has a good support system, they are better able to deal with stressors than those who do not. Last, the meaning of the stressor to the individual will also influence its effect on adaptation. The meaning depends upon family and individual values. For example, if a family values achievement, low grades may be stressful, or if an individual believes they must be perfect, divorce may be stressful. Others with different beliefs and values will not be affected in the same way. These three overall categories of stressors, the stressor itself, the limitations or potential of the individual involved, and the meaning of the stressor, acts together to produce a successful or unsuccessful outcome for the individual when faced with one or more stressors. How can we determine if an individual is having a serious stress reaction? One way is to look at symptoms, which can be broken down into physical, behavioral, and emotional symptoms. Physical symptoms would include an increased blood pressure, pulse and respiration, increased muscle tension, especially in the neck and shoulders, sweaty palms, cold feet, upset stomach, a tension headache, a high-pitched voice, urinary frequency, and a dry mouth. Behavioral symptoms might include decreased production and attention span, poor judgment, mistakes, forgetfulness, preoccupation, increased fatigue, increased smoking, alcohol, and drug use, and accident proneness. And emotional symptoms could include outbursts, irritability, depression, withdrawal, hostility, anxiety, and blaming others. Look at the quality and quantity of these symptoms, and they may indicate stress. The long-term health effect of stress includes migraine headaches, heart attacks, colitis, arthritis, increased blood pressure, ulcers, asthma, cancer, and many other illnesses. And as I mentioned earlier, it is also believed that a series of unsuccessful adaptations to stress may lead to mental illnesses. So resolving stress in a healthy way is important for our physical and mental health. There are many ways to diagnose stress, and I will mention a few of these. One of the easiest instruments to use is the Helvie Stress Symptomatic Checklist. This instrument uses the physical, emotional, and behavioral symptoms that I mentioned earlier and determine if these symptoms are present or absent. A second instrument is the Holmes Social Readjustment Scale. Examples of items on this instrument include death of a spouse, divorce, marital separation, a jail term, retirement, a change in health of a family member, pregnancy, being fired at work, a change in responsibility at work, trouble with the boss, vacations, Christmas, and others. Based upon how stressful these activities are to many people and determined from a search, a number is assigned to each stressor ranging from 11 to 100. For example, a violation of the law is 11 points, and the death of a spouse is 100 points. These are added together for those experienced over a 2-year period, and the higher the total score, the higher the probability of an illness in the near future. The author says 300 points in a year gives a 90% probability of illness. 150 to 299 points gives a 50% probability, and fewer than 150 points, a 10% chance of illness. A third instrument is the daily hassle checklist. Examples of items included on this checklist include troublesome neighbors, concerned about owing money, health of a family member, not enough money for housing or clothing, smoking too much, concerns about job security or retirement, fear of rejection, not getting enough sleep or rest, and overloaded with family responsibility. Items are scored on a 3-point scale ranging from 1, somewhat severe, to 3, extremely severe. These are added together to determine the degree of daily hassles and the influence of these stressors on the individual. The higher the score, the more likely there is harmful stress. There are things we can do to reduce or eliminate stress, and this is best accomplished by using a holistic approach. Some of these interventions are physical and include diet and physical activities. Diet is one of the first physical chemical factors to consider when developing a plan to reduce or eliminate stress. Edgar Cayce recommended the alkaline-based diet to prevent illnesses, and this works well to also reduce stress. He identified foods that produce acid and alkalinity in the body and recommended eating 80% alkaline-producing foods and 20% acid-producing foods. Some acid-producing foods include meat, grains, and sweets. Foods that are alkaline-producing include fruits, vegetables, and milk products. He also recommended foods and food combinations to avoid, such as citrus fruits and cereals together at the same meal. You can test for the acid-alkalinity balance in your body using litmus paper. A table and discussion of the diet can be found in McGarry W. 1989's book, Healing Foods for Body, Mind, and Soul, published by the ARE Press in Virginia Beach. When the body becomes too acidic, you may experience gastric reflux that further aggravates stress symptoms. In addition, stress turns the body balance acid. A natural solution to resolving acid reflux is orange peel with B-limonene. One product I have taken that was very effective for my gastric reflux caused by my hiatal hernia is called Heartburn Free, made by Enzymatic at Enzymatic Therapy and Company in Green Bay, Wisconsin at www.enzy.com. It contains 1,000 milligrams of orange peel extract standardized to contain a minimum of 98.5% of D-limonene, and you can take 1 capsule every other day for 20 days, and they guarantee that you will be free of acid reflux for 6 months. I also drink aloe vera to soothe the GI tract for acid reflux if needed. You should avoid certain foods and chemicals such as smoking and alcohol. If you are a smoker, you might want to obtain my smoking cessation ebook or CD that uses a holistic natural approach to smoking cessation. Some physical activities that can be used to reduce or eliminate stress include: first, walk around the block or count to 10 before responding to others in tense situations. Second, exercise to release endorphins that elevate the mood after 30 minutes and increase oxygen to the brain. Third, obtain adequate sleep and rest using the tips presented earlier. There are also mental activities that will assist in stress reduction as part of a holistic approach. First, relaxation exercises that I discussed earlier are useful. Second, visualization may also be effective. One useful exercise is to close your eyes, and as you inhale, imagine yourself as a balloon filling with air. On each breath, you become fuller and fuller. When you become completely full, imagine the air leaving your body through your mouth, taking all of your worries and concerns. Third, you can change your attitude and replace negative and positive thoughts, or remain positive. In this exercise, you replace each negative thought with a positive one throughout the day. If you are driving and someone cuts in front of you, bless him or her and wish him or her a great day instead of the usual response. You will find that as you practice this daily for a period of time, you become much more positive in your reactions to situations and people, and they become less stressful. You may also want to fill your mind with positive thoughts, so there is no room for negative ones. This can be done well with affirmations that I will discuss next. Try having continual positive thoughts. Fill your mind with so many positive thoughts, there is no room for negative ones. When you wake up in the morning, think, "What a wonderful day. I feel so great today. I look forward to being at work with my colleagues," and other positive thoughts. Reinforce the positive thoughts throughout the day. If you have a negative thought, immediately replace it with a positive one. As you continue to fill your mind with positive thoughts, there will be no room for negative thoughts. Then you will attract positive people and positive health, because what you send out returns to you, or like attracts like. Again, affirmations may be useful in this process. I find this an extremely helpful aspect of improving health and relationships. Eventually, you will find that your thoughts are almost always positive, and you will be amazed at the effect this has on your life. I challenge you to try this. Affirmations can be used to help you remain positive, to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, or to improve your self-esteem. Any of these will help to reduce stress. Both Louise Hay in You Can Heal Your Life and Anne-Marie Evers in Affirmations, Your Passport to Happiness, and much more discuss affirmations in detail. Louise Hay offers examples of affirmations for various conditions and situations, and Anne-Marie presents a process that one uses with affirmations to obtain what you want in life. She says all affirmations are successful if they are done correctly. I will discuss affirmations briefly here. One affirmation that is useful to build self-esteem that was presented by Louise Hay is saying nonstop, "I approve of myself, I approve of myself, I approve of myself." Then fill in your name and then say, "I love you." Fill in your name, "I love you." So I would say, "Carl, I love you. Carl, I love you, just as you are. Carl, I love you, just as you are." Repeat this regularly. For increased wealth, use affirmations such as, "Riches of all sorts are drawn to me," or "I'm a magnet for divine prosperity." For more friends, use, "Love is everywhere and I'm loving and lovable." To improve relationships with the boss, "I have a wonderful boss who is always trying to make things easier for me." Depending on the situation, affirmations should reduce the stress involved. A friend recently wrote me that they found the following affirmation on Michael Jackson's mirror, and she was excited because she had written the affirmation. The affirmation is, "I am a magnet for miracles." Affirmations should be present-oriented with "I am" or "I have," instead of future-oriented ones starting with "I will have" or "I want." Future-oriented affirmations are never attainable because our subconscious mind will keep them out of reach. Some affirmations that may be useful for you to start a change process in your life are: for weight loss, I am the right size and weight for me. I am happy and healthy with my ideal weight. I am attractive at the ideal weight I have obtained. For lonely people who want friends, I am a wonderful person who has many friends. I am a loving person surrounded by love. For those who want to improve relationships at work, I have a wonderful, fulfilling job. I have a wonderful boss and co-workers who support and respect me. And I'm finishing this race easily. With these guidelines in mind, you should be able to develop your own affirmations. If you need help, consult one of the books I mentioned earlier. Thought stopping techniques is another mental process to reduce certain stresses. You can practice this for 3 to 7 days to overcome repetitive, stressful situations. First, choose a thought, such as a fear of flying. Bring the thought to your attention. Close your eyes and imagine you are in that situation where the stressful thought occurs. Interrupt the thought, such as with the ringing of an alarm clock, the snap of the fingers, or imagining the word stop. After bringing to mind and stopping, replace the thought with a positive one, such as, it's a beautiful view from the plane. I enjoy watching everything below. Another useful mental process for stress reduction is creative imagery. This involves using a natural thought process to obtain a desired outcome. This is usually to invoke healing through the body-mind emotion response, but it may be useful to reduce stress and induce sleep. It should be practiced 3 times a day for 10 to 15 minutes. After closing your eyes, imagine stress and visualize it in any way you prefer. For example, you may see the stress as lumps in your arteries or as air in your stomach. Next, picture the solution in the mind and see it eliminating the problem or strengthening the body. For example, you may visualize increasing the number of knights on horseback in the arteries that will attack, kill, and carry the stress lump away, or see the stress as air that leaves the body as you exhale. When I was diagnosed with lung cancer, I visualized the white cells as knights on horseback coming through my body and attacking and carrying away the cancer cells. When Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls was diagnosed with breast cancer, she surrounded herself with angels and prayed to them. She also visualized spaceships that she sent out to obliterate the cancer cells. After you visualize the solution, pat yourself on the back and tell yourself that you have done a good job of eliminating the condition. This technique has been used for anxiety, asthma, headaches, viruses, to enhance the quality of life and to reduce pain or stress. There are also some energy medicine exercises that may be useful for reducing stress. Donna Eden and others have developed a system of treating the body that uses your body energy to boost your stamina and vitality. Some exercises are specific for stress, and I will briefly review these here based upon her work. The interested reader is referred to Energy Medicine, authored by Donna Eden and published by Penguin Putnam and Company in New York City. It is possible to reprogram your autonomic nervous system to not respond to daily stresses. To develop or strengthen this ability, you need to remember stressful situations from the past and hold 2 neurovascular points on your forehead. This conditions the brain to have a composed reaction instead of a crisis response. The points are above the eyes on the forehead where there is a bump or raised area. Place your fingertips on these areas with your thumbs on your temples next to your eyes and breathe deeply. Continue for a few minutes, up to 3 to 5. Repeat this daily until the memory of the incident no longer evokes a crisis response. Then use it when a new stressor impinges upon you until you are reprogrammed to not react in a stressful way. There are other exercises that will release pent-up stress, and I will mention 3 of these. Additional ones can be found on page 91 in Eden's book. Expel the Vernon is useful when you feel angry or judgmental and takes a minute or 2 to complete. Begin with your hands on your hips and fingers spread. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, make a shh sound, like telling someone to be quiet. As you inhale deeply, swing your arms out and then circle high above your head. Turn your palms so that they are facing you and make a fist. Exhale loudly and make the shh sound, dropping your fisted hand and opening them as you reach your thigh. Repeat this process until the anger leaves. In another exercise called the crown pull, you refresh the mind and release mental congestion. Begin by placing your thumbs on your temple on the side of your head and your fingertips just above the center of your eyebrows. The 4 fingers may extend from your eyebrows to your hairline. Slowly and using slight pressure, pull your fingers toward your temples so that you stretch the skin above the eyebrows. Repeat at the center of the forehead, at the hairline, at the top of your head, and over the curve of the back of your head. Repeat each stress 1 or 2 times. In the last exercise, the Wayne Cook exercise, you focus your mind better and think more clearly. Start with your right foot over your left knee and wrap your left hand around your right ankle and your hand around the ball of your right foot. Breathe in slowly and pull your leg toward you to create a stretch. Breathe out of your mouth and let your body relax. Repeat 4 or 5 times. Repeat with the opposite foot in the same position and with the breathing exercises 4 or 5 times. Then uncross your legs and form a pyramid with your fingertips and hand. Put your thumbs on your third eye and inhale slowly through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale again through your nose and separate your thumbs slowly across your forehead, pulling your skin. Bring the thumbs back to the third eye and then bring your hands in front of you, putting them together in a prayerful position while breathing deeply. This should take about 2 minutes. This process is similar to changing attitudes. Spiritual activities are also useful for reducing stress. One activity is to pray for those who are difficult. And this process is similar to changing attitudes from negative to positive, which I discussed earlier. In one exercise, you identify someone with whom you have a disagreement or whom you dislike. Next, you pray for that person daily for 1 week. You can pray for health and prosperity and the best in life for them. After 1 week, evaluate how you feel about the person. Often, it will seem like they have changed. However, it is likely that you have changed in your feelings toward them, and as you change your attitude, you will move to a higher level of thinking and feeling that will be reflected in your interactions with that person, who will respond to the new, in progress you. This is effective in improving relationships, but also has a health effect because you are not experiencing anger, resentment, or some other negative emotion that is known to affect health in a negative way as it increases your stress reaction. I discussed meditation as part of sleep earlier, and this is also effective against stress. For more information on meditation, you might look at my Healthy Holistic Aging, A Blueprint for Success book published in 2007. Developing spiritual attributes such as patience, forgiveness, and faith are long-term processes that have a powerful effect on health, relationships, and stress reduction, and I will now discuss two of these: how to develop your faith and forgiveness. Faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. This is from Hebrew 11:1. What is faith? It is an attitude of the soul. It is the interspiritual knowledge of the creative force of the universe, taken from the study group material of the Association of Research and Enlightenment. It is the confident assurance that something we want is going to happen. It is the certainty that what we hope for is waiting for us, even though we cannot see it up ahead, taken from the Living Bible, paraphrased in 1973. The story of Noah in the Bible is an example of faith. When Noah heard God's warning, he believed it, even though there was no sign of flooding. Based upon this belief, Noah built a raft and saved his family. This belief was in contrast to the belief of the rest of the world at that time, and they perished when the flood occurred. Because of his faith, God trusted Noah, and vice versa. When I do not get what I think I want at the moment, I know that God has something better in mind for me, and eventually it will unfold. This is also faith. For my friends who believe in Allah, Buddha, or some other higher being, please substitute these higher beings for God in my discussions. I am more familiar with Jesus and God, so I use them as examples. Faith relates to God, to ourselves, and to our fellow beings. Thus, we should have faith in God, in ourselves, and in others. The opposite of faith is doubt, and when we doubt ourselves, we doubt the God within. When we doubt our fellow beings, we are not looking for the best in him or her that should be our ideal. Doubt is closely related to the negative feeling of fear and worry. Worry is a result of fear, and fear in turn is a result of doubt. The opposite of doubt is faith. In Luke 12:22-25 in the Bible, it says, "What is the use of worrying? What good does it do? Will it add a single day to your life? Of course it will not. And if worry cannot do such little things as that, what's the use of worrying about the bigger things?" Doubt and fear are commonplace in the United States today and seem to be reinforced by the government, the far-right religious leaders, and some right-wing talk show hosts. People fear terrorist attacks, a shortage of flu vaccine, growing old, and on and on. Creating fear is often obvious in politics during federal elections and when a president does something opposed by the opposition. In addition, periodically the government raises the warning level of terrorist attacks and the media reinforces the fear. I reemphasize what Jesus said, "O ye of little faith." Before you get caught up in the emotions of fear, consider, have you applied a holistic approach to the situation to resolve the fear? For example, in relation to a potential attack, have you done all you can in the physical? Have you learned what to do in an emergency? Have you advocated with your government for the resources to protect the population? Are there other things that you should do in the physical realm? Have you developed your faith? Have you used positive affirmations? Do you meditate for peace in the world? If you have done these, then put your trust in God and replace your fear with faith. Faith is important to health and stress because it replaces negative feelings such as doubt and worry with positive ones. There are many studies on the influence of positive thoughts on health and stress. Faith cannot be taught or developed from reading about it. Faith is developed by using it and experiencing positive results. The exercises I will now discuss may help the interested listener begin developing this important spiritual attribute. Before we can replace worry and doubt with faith, it is necessary to be aware of situations in our lives in which it occurs. Once identified, we can change our worry habits by replacing these negative thoughts with positive ones, such as, God is with me and looking out for me, and bringing whatever is best for me. You will recognize this as a positive affirmation. Through an ongoing process of analyzing worry situations and replacing the negative thoughts with positive ones, you can build faith. I will now discuss exercises that follow this format. Exercise 1. First, make a list of all experiences in which you used faith. Next, analyze the factors that influenced your faith at these times. Next, think about how you felt after the experience was over. And last, have you repeated the use of faith in similar situations? Exercise 2. Look at your past and find experiences where you did not have faith. Relive one experience. Next, replace the lack of faith with faith in that situation. Last, how would you react in the same situation in the future? Exercise 3. First, think of a situation in which you felt anxious and worried, such as fear of a job loss, fear of loss of a significant relationship, money worries, or other concerns. Next, relive the situation, including the feelings you experienced. Now replace the feelings with faith or knowing that God will bring only the best to you. Last, would you have faith in a similar situation in the future? Exercise 4. First, in the next week, be consciously aware of situations in which doubt and worry creep into your thoughts. Immediately, replace that thought with a knowing that God is looking out for you and will bring only the best to you. Whatever happens is for your greatest good and ultimate happiness. Were you successful in replacing negative with positive thoughts? How did you feel? At this point, you are beginning to experience faith. Pat yourself on the back for a successful effort. Doubt and worries are often emotions engendered about what will happen in the future. Loss of a job, a relationship problem in the future, or concerns about getting old are all future-oriented. Thus, it may be helpful to stay present-oriented. Worry is also often a result of self-centeredness, and that may lead to isolation from others. Thus, concern for and assisting others may take your mind off your own worries and assist in developing faith. The next activities will help you replace doubt with faith when used in combination with the exercises I previously discussed. First, think about what interests you. Are you interested in politics, helping sick people, helping the elderly, developing spiritually, getting in better physical shape? Select one area of interest and get involved. Join a political action group, volunteer for Meals on Wheels, work in a nursing home or a hospital. Join a church, spiritual study group, or optimistic club, such as the ARE study group or the Optimist Club, or join the YMCA Health Club, or Weight Watchers. Helping others is a good way to reduce stress. Now I would like to briefly discuss forgiveness. Forgiving others not only improves relationships, it also improves your health. The exercise I will now discuss may help to develop forgiveness. First, think back about a particular situation that was hurtful to you. See the particular situation from the other person's point of view. Recognize that there are times when we hurt others, and also acknowledge that the past cannot be changed, and accept responsibility for your own healing of the situation. Don't expect an apology because forgiveness does not equal reconciliation. Wish the other person well and send good thoughts. Congratulate yourself for the positive action you have taken. You will feel like a weight has been removed from your shoulders. Community service and service to others are important spiritual aspects of stress reduction. Jesus advocated being of service to others, and this spiritual practice improves your health and reduces stress when positive spiritual ideals and motives underlie the service. For discussion, I separate service to others into community services that emphasize service to groups and service to individuals that emphasizes daily service to individuals. How can you serve others in the community? First, select one or more opportunities. Volunteer in a hospital, a nursing home, for Meals on Wheels in a homeless shelter, an officer in your homeowners association, activity in a political party, an advocacy group, a professional or service organization, other organizations. Next, devote some time each week or two to one or more of the activities in the community selected. Next, serve other people as you believe Jesus would serve them. Next, evaluate your successes and failures after each time in the community and use visualization to relive the failure and replace it with a positive outcome. Last, pat yourself on the back for your efforts and successes. In this context, service to individuals refers to our interactions with others in your daily life. I think of a friend who is a waitress and who says she likes her job because it allows her to talk with and be of service to others. She is always talking with her customers, offering comfort, patting them on the back for a job well done, and other behaviors that shows that she truly cares about herself, about others, and about God. Some questions you might want to ask about your service to individuals are you cheerful and helpful to others, or is it a job and a task to get through the day? Do you feel tired at the end of the day? Are you worried, afraid, or have other negative feelings? If so, something is wrong with your approach to life and needs to be changed. Try the following for 1 week. First, be consciously aware of your interactions with others during your working and leisure hours. Did you offer a smile to all whom you contacted? Did you greet everyone in a friendly way? Did you maintain eye contact? Did you offer comforting reassurance when indicated? Were your conversations positive and upbeat? Did you touch in a comforting, reassuring way when indicated? Did you feel good about your interactions? Evaluate each day and identify your successes and failures. Use visualization and prayer or other exercises, such as positive affirmations if appropriate, to imagine a different outcome for your failures. For example, if you have problems with superiors and co-workers, positive affirmations and prayer can be very effective in bringing about change. Try out your new behaviors in follow-up interactions. Pat yourself on the back for your successes. And last, evaluate how you feel when leaving work after a week. Before individuals can change and permanently improve their lives, they may also need to work with their ideals. These influence health, relationships, and reduce stress. An ideal is something we live with daily and is our motivating force. It is our life direction that motivates our attitudes and behavior. Thus, spiritual ideals are manifest in the mental, in our attitudes, and in the physical through our behaviors. Ideals may be conscious or unconscious and spiritual or non-spirituals. Ideals reside in a higher realm than thought and may or may not be attuned to the spirit of the Creator, God, Allah, or some other identified higher force. For example, selfish thoughts result from selfish motives and may be manifest in jealousy, anger, or other emotions that lead to negative behavior. On the other hand, spiritual ideals that are attuned to the Creator lead to patience, forgiveness, love, kindness, and compassion, and are manifest in positive behaviors toward others. These spiritual attributes are effective in reducing stress. Individuals often confuse ideas with ideals. Ideas tend to be human thought or things that you own, whereas ideals are attributes that own and influence you. For example, those who try to force their religion onto others with a "you must believe" attitude have confused ideals with human ideas. These are their thoughts, and they own and possess them. We have many ideas about God, Jesus, Allah, and others that we have learned and use in our lives. These ideas are like possessions that belong to us and that we use with others. However, ideals are not possessions that we own. Instead, ideals own us in order to become effective in our lives. For example, until we allow love, forgiveness, and patience to take over our lives and influence our thoughts and actions, we have not accepted these spiritual ideals. It is possible to discover and specify your ideals that will lead to better health and reduce stress. Initially, we should try to discover our ideals. Take some time at the end of each day to reflect on experiences that you remember. Write down what you thought about or did in each experience. Then write down the conscious or unconscious force that may have motivated the thought or behavior. For example, did you get mad at someone and speak in an angry or rude way? The force that directed the behavior might have been resentment that you had been holding toward that person. On the other hand, you might have been helpful to another person, and the force motivating this behavior might have been an especially good meditation in which you ask to be of service to others. As you write down your experiences and the possible forces behind them, you are specifying what your ideals may have been. You may also be aware that ideals vary from experience to experience. Ideals can be identified as spiritual, mental, and physical. Because spiritual ideals are manifest in the mental thoughts and physical activities, and the body, mind, and spirit are recognized as a whole, it is useful to begin identifying and writing spiritual ideals for your life in order to improve your health and relationships and thereby reduce stress in your life. During prayer and or meditation each day, reflect on the qualities that you are most aware of that you would like to have directing your life. During your quiet time at the end of the week, reflect on these qualities and integrate them into one spiritual ideal, such as love, peace, God, or oneness. Exercises may assist in improving mental and physical ideals. Reaffirm the spiritual ideal you have identified in the previous exercise. Next, pick an area of your life you want to improve and identify mental ideals, thoughts and feelings, and physical ideals, activities that apply. Areas for improvement might be diet and exercise regime, personal relationships, or professional relationships at the workplace. Mental ideals that you identify may suggest physical ideals. For example, in an effort to improve a relationship, a mental attitude of caring might suggest inviting a friend to dinner or telephoning him or her regularly. Sometimes other individuals may try to influence our thoughts, and these efforts may be consistent with or against our ideals. For example, others may encourage idle gossiping that is against our spiritual concept of love. We should be true to our ideals, even when it means standing alone. Each day we should evaluate the day and be aware of the ways others have tried to influence our decisions. Next, determine whether or not we went along with them in order to avoid disagreement, even if it was against our ideals. Then replay the experience in your mind and identify how you could be kind and sensitive to the opinion and ideas of others, but at the same time make your decisions based upon your ideals. I hope this information will be useful to you for reducing stress in your life. The effort you put into these exercises will be worthwhile as the reduced stress prevents stress related illnesses in your life.